Welcome to the Lesson 16.1 podcast. In this lesson, we introduce the concept of a circle and its parts. A circle is a set of points in the same plane that are equal distance from a given point called the center. Going through the center, we have the diameter from one edge to the other. The radius is half the distance, and it goes from an outer edge only to the center, but not through it. The circumference is the distance around a circle. The main idea of this lesson is to let the students know that the circumference is approximately 3.14 times the distance of the diameter. We have multiple formulas to find circumference. We have C equals pi times D, C being circumference, pi being 3.14 or 22 over 7, which is the fractional version, and diameter. We also have, if you know the radius, C equals 2 times pi r, because r, radius, is approximately half the distance of the diameter. But due to the cumulative property, we know that C equals pi times 2r also holds true, because the cumulative property of multiplication says that it does not matter which order that you multiply in, you will still get the same answer. Now, we have pi equals 3.14, or its fractional form, 22 over 7. So, when to use the fraction? Well, if you have the diameter of 35, which is a multiple of 7, you would want to use that due to cross simplification. Cross simplification states that if we look at this problem, C equals pi times D. So C equals 22 over 7 times 35. Now, to make 35 a fraction, that way we can multiply it with another fraction, you put any number over 1. So 35 over 1 is the same as 35. So 22 times 7, 22 over 7 times 35 over 1. When we cross simplify, how many times can 7 go into 7? One time. How many times can 7 go into 35? It can go 5 times. So now, instead of having to multiply by a large number, we can simply multiply 22 times 5 equals 110. And 1 times 1 equals 1. So now we have 110 over 1. And to make this a whole number again, we see how many times the denominator can go into the numerator. In this case, 1 can go into 110 times. And therefore, whenever you have a denominator, or whenever you have a diameter that is a multiple of 7, it is much easier to do it in fractional form. Now, there's also the cases where you might know the circumference instead of the diameter. If that is the case, then what you are going to do is you are going to fill in the information you know. So circumference equals pi times diameter, because we always want to write the formula. So say we have a circumference that is 125.6. So now, we will fill that information in. But first, we need to find the exact formula that we need to use. So we're going to take C equals pi times D, and we need to get D all by itself, because the diameter is what we are looking to find. So when we look at this, C equals pi times D. To get pi away from D, we must do its inverse operation. Because it is multiplying the diameter at this point, we will simply do the opposite, the inverse operation, which is to divide. That gives us our zero pair and eliminates pi from that side. Now what we do to one side of the equal sign, we must also do to the other side. So circumference divided by pi. So now if I rewrite this to make it clearer, I have circumference divided by pi equals diameter. So going back to this original number we have, if we enter it, we have 125.6, and we divide that by 3.14 to equal D, which when we do the math, D equals 40. So we know if the circumference is 125.6, the diameter must be 40 according to the formula. Thank you and have a good day.